Hi guys, I'm going to film the screencast for those of you who feel a little bit lost right now as we begin to write our editorials. I know that there's some of you who are feeling a little bit confused about the difference between writing a speech and writing an editorial. So I want to model for you what my process would look like as I move from my brainstorm of my supporting arguments, my issue, my counter arguments, into my editorial. So right now this is my brainstorm and you're all very familiar with this, and I want to come over here and show you a graphic organizer that I created to help you. This is based off of our writing workshop where we discover the editorial structure of an editorial as a class. And so I've made some boxes here, and I'm literally just going to copy and paste from my brainstorming document into my graphic organizer. And then I'm going to reword some things and kind of start playing with it and tweaking it. Okay, so the first box is identifying my issue and my position that I'm going to write the editorial about. Well, if we come back to my brainstorming document, that's right here. This is my issue and my position. So I'm going to copy and paste the question into my graphic organizer, and then I'm going to reword it from a question into a statement. So instead of saying, should student feedback be included in teachers' performance evaluations? If you remember, my position is yes, they should. So I'm going to make it a statement that says, I'm going to cut this and say, student feedback should be included in teachers' performance evaluations. Does that identify my issue and my position? Yep, it sure does. That's all I had to do. It was that simple. That's a statement that identifies my issue and position. Now, is that enough for my lead? No. I got to go back and add a little bit to kind of guide my reader smoothly into my editorial, but I can do that later. Let's go back and look at supporting argument number 1. If you remember, the supporting arguments that I was going to use was empowering students. Students have the most complete picture of the teacher. And if students had a voice, then schools would know what qualities kids were looking for. Okay? So as I look at this, right now, I think that my supporting argument that I'm going to start off with is this one. So the reason I'm going to start with this is because to me it's the first supporting argument that came to my mind. And I think it kind of frames the other two. It comes kind of before this one and this one in my mind, because the fact that kids have the most complete picture of a teacher, that is why we need to give them a voice, and that would then empower them. And the fact that they have the most complete picture is also why administrators should listen to them and see what kids want. So I'm really literally just going to copy and paste right from here and put it into my graphic organizer. And if you see here, I had an additional piece of information that kind of branched off. I'm going to copy that too, and I'm going to put it down below. Okay, so right now I have student feedback should be included in teachers' performance evaluations. Students have the most complete picture of the teacher because they see them perform daily. When administrators or parents visit the classroom, the teacher and students are on their best behavior, similar to when a boss observes us at work. It is impossible to fully evaluate the day-to-day atmosphere in a classroom unless one is in the classroom daily. Okay. Let's keep going with copying and actually no, I'm going to stop here because you can follow the copy and paste. You don't need me to keep modeling copying and pasting. What I want to use some time now is to show you how I might start to reword this for an editorial. These are just my notes. These are just my brainstorming. But let's take a look at what I might change if I was writing this as an editorial. Students have the most complete picture of the teacher because they see them perform let's change this to on a daily basis. Now, I want to make this real for my audience. I want to make them feel something so that they can connect that feeling to my issue. And when you come down here, I talk about similar to when a boss observes us at work. I'd be willing to bet that most of the adults who are reading my editorial know exactly what they do when their boss walks in the room. When their boss walks in their office or their classroom or whatever their workspace is, I bet many of them quickly close their Facebook page that they know they shouldn't have been on, or they open up a window that has the work that they were supposed to be working on that maybe they got a little sidetracked from, maybe they were checking personal email, maybe they were on Amazon buying something. So they know that feeling. They know darn well that they aren't always on track. So I want to capture that. So I might actually ask a question directly to my audience. Let's see, I would probably start by saying something like, how many of you quickly closed your Facebook page the last time your boss walked into your workspace? How often during a given workday do you get off task? Whether it is sharing a personal experience with a coworker, or making a quick purchase on Amazon, our productivity and professionalism ebbs and flows over the course of a day. And then I could probably cut out this and maybe use a transition phrase that would show movement from a like professional work setting to the classroom, which is also a professional work setting, and say, we all know what it is like to be on our best behavior when our boss is in the room. The same applies when teachers are observed by their administrators. And now I need to polish this up. This needs to be said a bit more smoothly and a little bit more powerfully. So let me think about that. The most capable evaluators of a teacher's planning, instruction, compassion, and knowledge are the students who experience each of these on a daily basis. See how that has evolved and changed since I copied and pasted it from here? Students have the most complete picture of the teacher because they see them perform on a daily basis. Boom. That is a direct statement. It is clear. It is plain, but it directly states my supporting argument. Then I come down here and I kind of make my audience remember that they have also experienced the same kinds of thing. How many of you quickly close your Facebook page the last time your boss walked into your workspace? How often during a given workday do you get off task? Whether it is sharing a personal experience with a coworker or making a quick purchase on Amazon, our productivity and professionalism ebbs and flows over the course of a day. We all know what it is like to be on our best behavior when our boss is in the room. The same applies when teachers are observed by their administrators. This is my transition. This is how I came from here and brought it back to the classroom. The most capable evaluators of a teacher's planning, instruction, compassion, and knowledge are the students who experience each of these on a daily basis. Could this be better? Yes. This is my first draft. I could definitely make this stronger and I could tweak it even further. But what I want to model for you is how to use this graphic organizer by copying from your brainstorming, pasting it into the section where it belongs, and then spending some time looking back at the mentor text and thinking about how you can reword, keep it with plain, direct sentences, relate to your audience, and prove your point in the format of an editorial and how that might be different from a speech. I hope this is helpful for you. Go for it. Tackle your own.